See the last question. Discuss the potential threats of cyber attack and security framework to prevent it. So some of the, it's a straightforward question. What is the framework? What is the framework for the 15th question? I'm just sharing one PPT of Government of India, which is talking about data protection. So it's giving good information. Yeah, it is sent. You got it in the Telegram group. It is designed by the MEITY itself. So the PPT was good. When I saw it, I was just checking for it again. So tell me one thing, does India have a data protection law now or not?
No, sir.
That is important thing. Good. It doesn't have a data protection law. There are discussion about it. So what is the framework? Focus on presentation and it is straightforward. Yes. Yes, Sumant. For straightforward questions, the focus should be always be on presentation part. Yeah. Cyber attack, threats of cyber security, recent initiative. You see the PPT which I posted. The government is coming up with a very good PPT, but they are not coming up with the law. They are comparing with US, Europe, but law is not happening. Fine. Introduce about the growing cyber threats, threats of cyber attacks. Yes. Initiatives by the government and conclusion. Yes. Yeah. So discuss the potential threats of cyber attack and security framework to prevent it. So straight away you write introduction as to what are the various cyber attacks. Okay, what you can straight away introduce by saying that what are the cyber threats or cyber attacks. Okay, you can explain the definition of cyber attack. So you can say that basically cyber attack is an attack through the internet or software, and where some information from organization or personal is taken away. And now because of the interconnected world, cyber attacks are very common and they are basically multidimensional in nature. As Sumant has written, it is multidimensional. So multidimensional in nature, you can definitely include that. And then you can say in this digital world, the cyber attacks are increasing day by day. So that can be the introduction. And then the first side heading would be the potential threats of the cyber attack. So here everyone will have their own presentation style. If you want, you can draw these potential threats in a diagram. You can make it in points. Okay, it's all about presentation and staying relevant in this answer. So what are the potential threats of cyber attacks? What will be the potential threats of the cyber attacks? First thing is the cyber wars. Okay, cyber wars, how the external states are snooping into other countries, important military softwares, military websites, and trying to gather confidential information. So those are cyber wars. And then cyber attacks, cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism means what? Hacking the PCs or attacking the infrastructure, critical infrastructure, and getting the information on them and using it for wrong means. For example, the ISIS wanted to hack some of the nuclear power plants. So that is cyber terrorism, because nuclear power plants are operated through certain control logics. If you hack that nuclear power plant, you will get control of the entire nuclear chain reaction and you can destroy that plant and create havoc. So that is cyber terrorism. Or you can say spreading malified content and then recruiting youth through fake news. Of course, that is not a direct cyber attack. Then you can talk about ransomware. Yes, you can talk about ransomware, spyware, introduction of Trojans, and data theft. A lot of data of debit cards and credit cards has been compromised recently. So you can write that how the confidential personal data has been stolen away. And then what are the other parts of cyber attack? What can be the other cyber attack? Drug trafficking. Okay, how the drugs are being carried from one country to another country. And then recruitment, hacking of bank accounts of various individuals. Okay, I've not seen Family Man season 1. I've seen season 2. So not exactly clear of what the cyber attack is. Cyber terrorism. Okay, so all these are potential threats of cyber attack. And then the second side heading will be security framework to prevent it. What will be the security framework? You can have the NAT grid. NAT grid, you can expand the NAT grid for cyber attacks also. Okay, then you can say that we can have the proper cyber policy. You can write the example of Cyber Dome project in the third answer. We can have Cyber Dome project, and then empowering MEITY, MEITY through CERT, certain Center for Emergency Response India. So you can bring them into the picture and have more cyber security, and you can make any cyber crime immediately reported to them so that they can know what is the source and then try to block it. National Cyber Coordination Center. You can have a National Cyber Coordination Center, and then you can make it as a nodal agency where such cyber complaints are received and then acted upon. You can have cyber police teams. And then cyber Swachhata Kendras, where individuals are explained about the importance about being digitally literate. The individuals have to be digitally literate so that they are not falling prey to these hackers and also the malware systems which are being injected into their mobiles or laptops. Okay, NASSCOM and DSCI have developed cyber security ecosystems. You can write that example. And then you can write some one or two schemes where government has come up. So government has come up with certain is an example of government coming up with a proper cyber security, this thing. You can say we can use blockchain technologies to mitigate the attack of cyber crimes. Cyber Surakshit Bharat, yes, you can talk about that. And then what will be the conclusion and way forward? You can say that the way forward is that as we move towards digital India and promote the concept of the digital literacy, we are equally prone to cyber threats or cyber attacks. The need of the hour is to enforce a uniform legislation across the nation and have nodal agencies like certain, and also collaborate with technological giants like, we can collaborate with Google, Facebook, and other important technology giants who have much more awareness in fighting against this Yeah, now your PPP model can be a good conclusion. If you can coordinate with Google, Facebook, who are already very much aware of the cyber threats and attacks, and they already have robust firewalls and protection systems. So government, who is also collecting valuable data like Aadhaar details, biometrics, so much personal details government is collecting. What about the confidentiality of the data? And then cyber attack is not only on the government but also individuals. So how as a government you are going to regulate them? So these are something which you can mention in the conclusion, that we need to have a holistic approach and we need to involve multiple stakeholders and then have a public-private partnership in dealing with cyber attacks and have a robust security framework. Clear? Introduction is quite lengthy. Maybe you can cut down 1 or 2 points and then arrive at a crisp introduction, Venkateshwari. You have made relevant points, but it feels like it's too lengthy. You can mention this stats maybe in the conclusion so that your introduction is better managed. Good, Sumant, your way forward is good, definitely. Yes, everyone can look at the way forward written by Sumant. It's good that we are taking steps, but that steps are not as fast as the cyber situation is changing. That's true, because a smartphone is only valid for 6 to 10 months maybe. After that it gets outdated. So what is the latest smartphone today is an outdated smartphone 10 months later. You must have all experienced it. So similarly, the cyber security and threats are also getting updated. Ransomware, cryptojacking, yes, malware, non-malicious threats. Okay, supply chain threats, good. Okay, you can mention few more as we discussed, Venkateshwari. Okay, like cyber terrorism, cyber wars, you can write them. IT Act 2000, yes. I missed it. IT Act is good point. Yes. You can write about National Cyber Security Coordination. CERT India. Yes. So that stat which you have mentioned in the introduction, you can write here. Okay. And then write the conclusion in an optimistic way that we are all discussing cyber security, cyber terrorism and all. But the need of the hour is to actually implement what is required. Okay. So that is about it. So cyber related questions, cyber crime, cyber wars, data security are very much going to come in the future mains also, because that is one area where the India as a nation is moving very fast, and at the same time, as Suman said, the infrastructure, the other aspects of cyber security are lagging behind. Okay, we are moving fast with regard to the Digital India campaign, but the data security, cyber security, the breaches of how how many people are being duped from their regular, by sitting at homes they are being duped. So these are something which as a nation we have to come up with. So wherever these things are there, you can write about Cyber Dome and other projects which are quite successful in mitigating these cyber crimes to a certain extent. Because you all know, because you're all tech savvy guys, cyber crimes are not so easy to detect and mitigate. It's not like a intelligence report that XYZ person is planning an attack, not like that. It is happening. They are happening in no time, like a surgical strike. Someone sitting in in a room is just sending a very sending a virus or some code, and then someone is clicking and the entire data is gone. Okay, and there are no boundaries for cyber security. You don't know from which country that hacker is coming, that fellow is coming into your PC and ruining and hacking the data. Yeah, Sumant, it's true that the Cyber Dome project is a very specific question. The third question, I am sure most of you must have written it without looking at Google or any websites, but first two questions, because those are very specific in nature, and I agree, because and then they have been discussed in that particular year. See that these two questions came in that year because they have been in news. Justice B.N. Sri Krishna committee report and all, they have been in news in that particular year. In 2022, it is not so important because unfortunately we did not go forward with the data protection bill for all the political reasons. But in that particular year, if there are any specific things like this which are continuously in debate, you are expected to know it. Okay, fine, right. On that note, we'll close the class and we'll again meet tomorrow.